say neither is pythons, but Florida's crawling with them. But who's to say that one of them got loose in the Pine Barrens and somebody would think that was the Jersey Devil?
Probably, because I've seen them. They're like about 3-4 feet in length. So you figure if they're that tall and with a wingspan, you could really, think, hey, that's in some of them. Like I said, they look like a Great Dane in the face. They got a big snout and everything.
Yeah, some of them look like got a horse head almost. It's amazing what they look like. And another animal, I know they're not native around here, but again, who's to say that they're not here anyway? Got loose from somewhere. But them harpy eagles, they're huge. And if you look at one front on, they look like there's a description of a Mothman.
Yeah, but again, these Mothman reports are just, I'm telling you, I got so many emails here the last week and a half again. People like it now. I got one in Bakersfield, California, that the guy claimed that he saw a Mothman, a trucker. And I guess this one was, sitting on a power line.
Oh, wow. Well, listen, I've been getting a bunch of them the last week or two, too. Of course, I live about 100 miles from ground zero where it all started in, was it Point Pleasant there. But there's a lot of them coming out of Illinois and Pennsylvania and Jersey, but all over the place now. And would you say that was California?
Yeah, Bakersfield.
Yeah.
And not just that. I mean, there's been sightings in Oregon, a lot of sightings in Texas.
There have been, yeah. And, another thing in Texas within the last couple months is these small type T-Rex sightings and the flying dinosaur there, what do they call it, pterodactyls.
Yeah.
A lot of sightings of those lately, too.
It's crazy about, the amounts of reported cryptids has actually picked up a lot, along with UFOs. I've been getting, it's not a day doesn't go by, I get a lot of reports about UFOs.
Oh, yeah, I do, too. And I think there's a lot of them that's misidentified as something else, especially with what we got going on up there. We're putting a lot of satellites up. I think a lot of those are getting misconstrued as UFOs. But there's a lot of, and there's so many drones out there. People can buy drones, and they're all different sizes, and you can dress them up all different things. I think people are trying to trick people, and even if they're not trying to trick people, if you see some of these drones, or you might think it's a UFO.
Oh, yeah. And, I'm trying to look at what day our guest is. We got a person that's going to be coming on the show talking about the flat Earth. And I think that's coming up here in about the next week and a half.
What are they talking about?
The Earth is flat.
Oh, that's right. You talked about that. Didn't you say the 20... Well, maybe not, but yeah, you was talking about that last night about the flat Earth, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying it's not flat. Just all the information and data and research I've done at this point shows that it's round.
Well, I would think it's round because it's no way it could be flat. If you really think about it, I mean, again, like you mentioned, you go out, you go out on a boat in the ocean or even on the Sound, and you look at the horizon, and if it was flat, a ship wouldn't just all of a sudden disappear.
Right. I think it's 22.2 miles, somewhere in that ballpark that you can't see no more because the Earth's round, and over the horizon, it starts to drop off, and that's why.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're going to be talking about flat Earth. We're going to be, again, talking about UFOs. On the 9th, we got Tom Whitmore will be on. He's going to be talking really heavy about UFO conspiracies. And
that's tomorrow night.
Yeah, and then Friday, we got Kelly Heyer coming on, talking about black-eyed children.
Yeah, and it's funny, a friend of mine who lives in the UK, she's freaking out because she's seeing black-eyed kids within the last couple of weeks a lot. And she reached out, like, anybody got information? So I said, listen, you need to tune into our show Friday. We're going to have, a guy coming on about black-eyed kids. And there's reports about them. I've never seen any, but I've seen a lot of reports that people have.
Yeah, it all started out supposed to be as a folklore. It's not true. But then all of a sudden, in the last few years, people are claiming they're seeing, black-eyed children. And I don't think, kids are getting contacts and putting them on. And I know they're not injecting, dye in their eyes. I guess some older people have, that are into the vampire craze. But you know how eerie it would be if you opened up your house door or you look for that little peephole in your door and you see some children there and they all have black eyes and they're pale.
Yeah, that would be eerie. I think a lot of it could be people are seeing spirits and they look like real kids, but their eyes are black and maybe they can fool you. I don't know. I just know that I've never seen any. I've sure have gotten a lot of reports of them. Lon gets tons of reports of them also.
Well, yeah, and they're asking to come in. That's So it's like you have to invite them in, and if you do, who knows what happens to you.
Yeah, I've never come across a report yet that they invited them in, and then what happened, and then, maybe those people were part of the missing people that come up missing. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a scary thought. Or you're in the supermarket, right, and it's near closing time, and the weather is rainy and it's windy. And you get like two little kids, a boy and a girl, and they come up to you and they say, "My parents left me here. We're lost. Can you help us? Can you let me in the car? It's so cold." And you're looking at their eyes and their eyes are black.
Yeah, I have a friend actually that had an encounter with black eye, and these were teenagers, and he's still freaking out about it. He's a writer now. He wrote about the story, but this was when he was 18. He was going from California to Colorado, going to college, and on the drive he got tired and pulled over. And this was in Nevada when he pulled over at one of them rest areas, and there was one vehicle there, and there was all teenagers. He was a teenager. He didn't know from Adam. They was already there, and there was a truck. They was with a truck, and a lady, she had black eyes, said, "Hey, why don't you come over here?" And he felt something was off. And next thing you know, there was one behind him. He's still in the car. There's one behind him, like at the back end of his car. And then he looked, something caught his eye, and there was another one, just like he said they moved real fast, but you don't see him moving. You like catch. It was real freaky, his story. It really shook him. It really shook him up. Anyway, long story short, he got out of there real fast because they wanted the ride. They said their truck broke down, but they all had black eyes.
I wouldn't let anybody in my vehicle or in my house that had black eyes. I'd be terrified.
Don't do it. Do not do. Now I've seen people's eyes turn black, and that's because of other evil things. But not just right off the bat, we're already black. But either way, it's all negative. It's scary stuff. Let me tell you. To see listen, if you ever seen somebody's eyes that are normal and then just go all black, that right there, I want to tell you something. It stands the hair up on your everywhere on you when that happens.
The only time I've seen where a kid get a black eye were from being bruised, punched in the eye. But can you imagine, the whole eye being black? That is creepy. Let alone if you get like one or two of them. No, I mean that's not natural. I got a funny feeling they're demons.
Well, that was what was going on with the humans, the adults that I've come across on my travels that I had to help. And they, in a split second, boom, it just like all at once, the eyes all go black. And when that happens, oh my God, I can't even put it in words. It's palpable, the feeling that comes with that when that happens. It's like, whoa. And it stops you in your tracks. Now, I couldn't imagine coming across kids like that because I think that's how they try to lull you in, play to your heart because, it's like you said, it's raining, we need help, let us in. They want you to drop your guard, and then Lord only knows what happens if somebody ever does that. We never hear that story.
No, because they're probably not around to tell us it.
Yeah, you're right. That's a scary thought. I mean, and here's another thing. Maybe they're some kind of beings, another alien being. That's one of their ploys. I don't know. I don't know what these black-eyed kids are. I've never seen any, and I got to say I'm not looking forward to ever seeing them.
Well, knock on wood. I mean, be careful. Anybody that knocks on your door, if you don't know them, if I don't know the people, I don't I don't go to the door. As simple as that. If I don't recognize who they are.
No, and a good rule of thumb: if you can't see the whites of somebody's eyes, just let it go. Don't answer the door.
Well, that's a good move. But so we're going to be talking about black-eyed children. I mean, then we're going to be talking about UFOs, flat Earth, time travel later this month. I mean, we got some big guests coming on. Barbara DeLong talking about UFOs later on in the month also. I mean, it's going to be a great month in January.
Yeah, sounds like you got all the bases covered for sure, and looking forward to all those. And who was it? Oh yeah, tomorrow UFOs with Tom Whitmore. He's always very insightful with some very good stuff too. And then Friday the Black-Eyed Children, and then on to the other good stuff. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, and then also we got some people on for Bigfoot coming up. So, and then Cryptics. We'll get Tobias Whalen on again here shortly. And then, of course, we got our Thursday report with Ryan coming on and giving us reports on UFOs. So we cover it all.
Yes. And every once in a while, too, we get conspiracy theories in there and other things like that also, and time travel as well.
Well, we're already going to be covering time travel later in the month with Tim Swartz.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he's always got some good stuff with that time travel stuff. I've had some good conversations and question and answers with him the last time he was on.
Yeah. So, do you got one or two little quick stories here? We got 3 minutes before the break. Do you got anything you can share about UFOs or anything?
Oh, I'm sure I got something. I did have something come in today. I think it was on cryptids, though. Let me look here. I got.
Well, it can be cryptids. Here. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, here's one on UFOs, actually. And, this one just came in, actually. Okay, this is from the witness account. I was coming home from Masontown on the Bowood Road. As I went over the top of the rise, I saw this ball in the road just sitting there. It was about 2 feet across and was blocking the road. I couldn't get around it, so I stopped. I sat there for a minute, then decided to get out and move it so I could continue home. I even thought about taking it home as an oddity. But when I opened the car door, it started to just fade away. Not quick, but it took a few seconds to vanish. But then it disappeared. It never moved, just faded away. I closed the door and wondered, what the heck was that? After that, I just went home and nothing else to say. So that would be kind of a spooky UFO-related type of a spear or orb type thing. That was, and that kind of report. I've seen a few of those actually. I don't know if you've had any of those or not.
I get a lot. In fact, people send me so many pictures of orbs that I'm orbed out.
I bet you.
I get more pictures of orbs than anything.
Especially the warm fuzzy ones, I bet.
I don't know if they're fuzzy. I did like that little video thing I saw that a week or two ago on the railroad tracks where it kind of that looked like an orb. Well, you know what it is if I ran it in slow motion. It was clearly a guy running with a flare.
Okay, that's been all over the place. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to tag you with that instead because I knew you got self-forget time, and I knew you would have the answer to that, and that's what it is. And some guy running with a flare.
And it was a really cool effect, though.
It was. Yeah, it was good. It was kind of freaky looking. It's been all over the internet, and I was like, what is that?
Well, I think other people said it's a flare too, with somebody running. I think I've seen that also posted. I mean, you can clearly see that it's somebody running. And if you go take it real slow motion, if you have the software to do it, and you analyze it, it's somebody running with a flare. But it looks cool. It looks like an orb is going, and then it stops for a second where it gets on the other side of the tracks, and then it moves on. Dead giveaway.
Yeah, I know it, and it's actually freaky because it's got like I can't see what it might, but it's got like sparks that looks like little lightning come off, or like, and it's a neat effect, I gotta say.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we'll be back in a couple minutes. You're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio. We have the news at the top of the hour, and then we have Marc Cushman talking about Star Trek. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. stay tuned. One of those two words.
In love.